have you ever noticed that your favorite brands are now popping up in different aisles in the grocery store from where you normally see them? It's
Yeah.
weird, right? Well, why do companies do this? Well, quite simply, if you were to launch a new food product, 90% of the time it's going to fail within the first year of launch. So, by a company taking an existing brand that consumers are already aware of, they're going to save a crap ton of money because they're going to generate higher returns on their investment versus having to start a new brand from scratch.
Right.
Okay. And so folks are very, very brand loyal. Okay. And when they
Yeah.
go to the grocery store and they see a brand name that they recognize, but it's in a new section of the store, it's going to get them to stop and to look at it and explore. Okay.
Yeah.
But here's the key. So, Nestle, huge corporation, tons of brands, they basically ran like a survey. Okay. And they stated that 80% of consumers said that if they have trusted a brand before, just by seeing it in a different part of the store is going to make them take notice and more likely to try it just because of the brand name. Not the product itself, but just the brand name. Okay.
Makes
Now,
sense.
Nestle is one of those recent aisle hoppers.
Yeah.
Okay. Nestle owns the brand Stouffer's. Stouffer's is extremely well known. One of their best selling products is their frozen mac and cheese.
Right.
Okay. So what they do? Stouffer's just came out last year with a shelf stable mac and cheese. So now Stouffer's, that brand name, you can see on the mac and cheese aisle with the Kraft and the Great Value and, the Cheetos brand. That's a good one
Yeah.
right there. The Cheetos brand. They moved from the chip aisle to the mac and cheese aisle. Okay.
Yeah.
And in case you're wondering why, the mac and cheese aisle does $3 billion in sales every
It's
year.
insane.
Okay. That's why. And so now they're able to hit consumers not only in the shelf stable aisle, but also in the frozen aisle.
Yeah.
Okay. And so for some brands, they claim this is the only way that they can grow. Okay. They've kind of maxed out where they are. And so in order to get more business, they got to jump aisles.
Yeah.
Okay. But the only problem is it has to be well done. Okay.
For
Because we
sure.
have actually seen quite a few these brand extensions, these aisle hoppers, horribly wrong. Okay. Let us know down below if you've ever heard of any of these or ever tried them. Okay. In the 1980s, Lifesavers candy actually made soda, and it came in a cylindrical bottle that actually appeared just like the signature candy wrapper. The product actually did really well in taste tests, but it didn't catch on with consumers because it was too sweet for the average consumer. But I bet you that that soda from 1980s would go hog wild right now. Nostalgia marketing. I'm just saying there's a chance this guy could come back. Did you know that Cosmopolitan Lifestyle magazine actually rolled out their own line of yogurt in 1999 and it lasted a whole 18 months before it was discontinued? What does a magazine have to do with yogurt? What a horrible
What?
job. Okay, how about the baby food brand Gerber? They launched a line of pureed meals called Gerber Singles aimed at adults. Now, this was in the 70s, but this extension failed because older consumers basically balked at the idea that they were essentially eating baby food flavors or, baby food in adult flavors because some of
Yes.
the flavors they came out with were beef burgundy and blueberry delight.
I hate it.
Yeah, I can see how that didn't go well. Maybe if I was
Yeah.
having my wisdom teeth out or I needed really soft foods, but that's a very small market there.
And pureed meat in general just gives me the ickies. Like,
But if you had a health issue and had trouble swallowing, that could be a product that could help you. I just think
yeah.
rather than direct to consumer, that should have been more of a direct to medical institution type thing.
No, I
Um,
agree. It has a place for sure. I
yeah.
just.
But there has been a couple huge hits recently of these aisle hoppers. One of them is A1 steak sauce into compound butter. So in
Mm.
the butter aisle, it has the A1 steak logo, and it's a compound butter made with A1 sauce. The other one is Crystal Light drink powders jumped into the ready to drink alcohol. So all I can think of is like the 1980s mom drinking Crystal Light is now, hitting back ready to drink, cans of mocktails.
Mm.
But apparently that's a big market. The little or the mocktails, or the cocktails in a can, huge
Crystal
market.
Light's like low in calories, so you're looking at your like low
So
in
you're just
calorie.
getting it from vodka, not the juice.
Yeah. Tonic water and vodka with the Crystal Light. Perfect.
See, that's great. So let us know down below. What do you think about brands jumping aisles in order to catch your eye and get more sales? Let us know. Have you been caught?